So today I will present solutions that I think which should be changed in future. It is about to magnify the poverty. My presentation will include three parts, which is one is causes, and part two is how important fighting poverty right now, and part three is some changes students to solution for poverty. Okay, I think to talk about the causes of poverty, I think the main cause is climate change, because climate change creates hunger, whether through drought or flood, and it has contributed to the cycle of poverty in several other ways, including affecting women, creating refugees, and even influencing conflict. And to talk about the second, I think apart from the effect of nature, lack of government support has also contributed to poverty. Many people living in the United States are familiar with social welfare programs that people can access if they need healthcare or food assistance, but not every government can provide this type of help to its citizens. As a result, the safety net, there's nothing to stop vulnerable families from sliding further to extreme poverty. Okay. Besides, I think lack of education has also caused poverty, because right now there are more than 3 billion people who don't have access to. Not every person with an education is living in extreme poverty, but the poor, the people who have extreme poverty have little access to education, and most of them don't have an education. As the consequence of climate change, lack of government support, and also lack of education, people don't have or have little access to clean water and food. Is also the major reason for poverty. Right now there are more than 3 billion people don't have access to clean water at home, and this means that people collectively spend 200 million hours every day walking long distances to fetch water. And that's all about the causes of poverty. But I will tell you why I think poverty is more important than ever. The first impact of poverty I want to mention is health issue, and health is perhaps one area where people suffer the most. For instance, large percentage of disease in low-income countries are caused by the consequence of poverty, such as poor nutrition, indoor air pollution, and lack of access to proper sanitation and clean water. According to WHO estimate Poverty-related disease account for 45% of the disease burden in the poorest countries. Um, for example, tuberculosis, HIV/AIDS, or malaria make up 18% of the disease burden in some poorest nation. In addition, extremism is also a bad consequence of poverty. And a recent study done by United Nations Development Program found that the prevention that marginalization along with governance contribute to violent extremism in the youngster. The study was based on interview with about 500 voluntary recruits to extremist organizations such as Boko Haram and Al Shabaab. These are some of the worst consequences of poverty. The effect of poverty grouping in order to achieve peace and safety in the world. Poverty alleviation must be a focus. Finally, I will note to some solution for poverty. For the first solution to poverty, I think increase access to education or end war and conflict in some poorest country is the first thing we should mention. According to UNESCO, people studying students in low-income countries have just basic reading skills. An estimated 171 million people could escape extreme poverty by providing easier access to education. Education also develops skills and abilities, correct some of the imbalances that come out of marginalization and decrease both risk and vulnerable consequences. And finally, talk about the most important solution. I think focusing on preventing climate change is a solution must be done in the future. We can resilience against climate change is especially important and deserves its own mention. And according to World Bank, climate change could force an additional 100 million people to extreme poverty over the next decade with any urgent action broken. And for all the consequences, I think we can protect our environment and we have to prevent the climate change by conserve water, save energy, or use some renewable energy resources like solar power or wind power. We can also make our environment better by the action which is such as planting a trees, traveling green, by reducing waste and littering. Okay, that's all. That's all about.
Okay, any questions?
Can you stop it?
Did you have a question?
Do you think that your solutions can get rid of the problem?
I think it can't get rid of the problems, but it can decrease the impact of poverty.
Okay, you studied climate change. Do you think climate change is more important in alleviating poverty or in preventing more poverty? And what I mean by that is, given that a lot of poor countries are going to be hit the hardest by climate change with rising sea levels and changing of weather and stuff, do you think if we don't do something, are we going to increase poverty?
Yes, if we don't take some action to prevent the climate change, the environment will be worse, far worse, and it will have some worse impact to some poorest nation, and the sea levels rising can can make the forest it will be worse. Yeah.
Okay. The last question I have is, do you think climate change could possibly cause more poverty in Vietnam?
I think it's definitely will cause more poverty in Vietnam because Vietnam is also a country one of the country have biggest impact of climate change in the world. Sea level rising has impacted the life of some citizens in the south of Vietnam, and with the rising of sea level right now, the south of Vietnam will be under the sea level.
Okay. Excellent. Good job. You can turn that off. Oh, sorry.
Why did you choose an image of black people for presentation?
Really? No, it's kind of an accident because the poorest nation will probably in some Africa countries, and the people in Africa is black. It's mostly black.
It's a worthwhile thing because a lot of Africa there's a lot of poverty and predominantly it is black nation. So it would make sense in this case. You can stop that.